She turned down my proposal twice, so I walked away. 2 years later, I walked in with someone that left her completely speechless. Brittany said no twice. First time at our college graduation. I'm not ready for marriage. I want to travel. Second time, a year later at her birthday dinner. You're sweet, but I need someone more ambitious. That word stung. Ambitious. Like our 4 years together meant nothing. 2 weeks later, she was Instagram official with Logan, my former best friend since high school. Trust fund kid with a BMW his daddy bought and a marketing empire that was actually his uncle's firm. They flaunted it everywhere. Expensive restaurants I couldn't afford, designer clothes, constant vacation posts to places I'd never seen. Our entire friend group acted like it was destiny, not betrayal. They just make sense together, they'd say. I was crushed, but channeled everything into medical school applications, took out massive loans, moved 3 states away, and disappeared into 18-hour study days. No social media, no dating, just pure focus on becoming the surgeon I'd always dreamed of being. While I was killing myself in organic chemistry and anatomy labs, Brittany and Logan were living their best life. Engaged after 6 months with a ring that cost more than my entire tuition. The wedding was planned for some vineyard in Napa. 2 years into my surgery residency at Children's Hospital, I met Lily at a pediatric trauma conference. She was presenting research on emergency interventions. Brilliant, passionate about saving kids' lives. We talked for hours about everything except medicine. She made me laugh for the first time in years. 8 months of dating before she casually mentioned having an older brother. He's kind of a mess, still living off our parents at 30, dating this girl who thinks she's too good for everyone. When she said his name was Logan, my blood ran cold. When she showed me his Instagram, there was Brittany posing with my replacement life. Wait, Lily said, noticing my reaction. You know them? I told her everything. Instead of being upset, Lily started laughing. Oh my God, you're that Noah. Brittany talks about her boring ex, who became a doctor at every family dinner. She has no idea we're together. Logan complains that she keeps comparing him to some guy who actually did something with his life. Fast forward to my little sister's wedding last weekend. Big church ceremony. Reception at the country club. Brittany and Logan were invited through mutual friends. Small-town politics. Lily wore this stunning navy dress that made her look like she belonged in a medical journal success story because she basically did. Youngest head nurse in her department's history. We walked into the reception holding hands. Brittany saw me first from across the room. I watched her face change from casual recognition to shock as she realized I looked nothing like the broke college kid she remembered. 2 years of residency had changed me. Confident, successful, wearing a suit that actually fit. Then she saw Lily. Her face went from shock to confusion as recognition dawned. She grabbed Logan's arm, whispering frantically, pointing at us. Logan looked like he'd been hit by a truck. His little sister, the one he'd always dismissed as the nerdy one, was dating his girlfriend's ex. The ex who'd apparently become everything Brittany said she wanted. Lily walked right up to them with this sweet smile. Hey, big brother, I want you to meet my boyfriend. Lily's face changed as she looked at Brittany. Wait, I know you. You're the one who... She stopped mid-sentence, color draining from her cheeks. Brittany's smile was predatory. The one who what, sweetheart? Finish that sentence? Logan looked between them nervously. Brittany, don't. But she ignored him. Your boyfriend didn't tell you? About how I visited him 6 months ago? Lily's hand dropped from mine. You what? I felt cold. That was nothing. She showed up at the hospital asking for career advice. Brittany laughed. Is that what you're calling it? I was there for 3 hours, Noah, in your office, looking through your research notes while you were in surgery. Lily took a step back from me. She turned to Brittany, her voice shaking. That presentation I gave at the conference, the one that made headlines. Brittany nodded slowly. Your research on emergency pediatric interventions, really groundbreaking stuff. Almost identical to the notes I photographed in Noah's office and sent to Logan's uncle's pharmaceutical company. They're filing the patent tomorrow. She looked at Lily with mock sympathy. Guess you'll both be famous for having your career-defining work stolen. I reached for Lily's arm, but she yanked away. And in that moment, I saw my entire future collapse as hospital security approached with the head administrator. The head administrator was Dr. Vincent Hargrove, a man I'd worked under for 18 months. He looked uncomfortable, his eyes darting between me and the security guards flanking him. Noah, can we talk privately? His voice was low, apologetic almost. The reception noise continued around us, but our corner had gone silent. Logan had gone pale. Brittany stood there with that same predatory smile, watching everything unfold like it was her personal entertainment. Lily stepped away from me completely, her arms crossed over her chest. Don't, Noah. Just don't. Doctor. Hargrove cleared his throat. Noah, We received a cease and desist letter this morning from Meridian Pharmaceuticals. They're claiming intellectual property theft related to Dr. Chen's research presentation. Dr. Chen was Lily's professional name. She'd kept her maiden name for her career. Your name is listed as a co-conspirator. My stomach dropped. What? That's insane. Brittany cut in, her voice dripping with false concern. Dr. Hargrove, I tried to warn Noah months ago that what he was doing was unethical. He showed me confidential research and asked me to pass it along to my boyfriend's family company. I refused, of course, but I had no idea he'd involve his girlfriend in the scheme. Everything stopped. The music, the conversations, even the air seemed to freeze in my lungs. She was framing me, framing us both. Dr. Hargrove looked pained. Noah, I don't want to believe this, but Meridian sent documentation, emails from your hospital account, timestamps of file access. And Miss Fletcher here, he gestured to Brittany, came forward 2 days ago with a sworn statement. Logan finally spoke up, his voice weak. Brittany, what the hell are you doing? She rounded on him. What I should have done when he showed me that research. These two were planning to steal from your family and profit off it. I was protecting you. Lily laughed, but there was no humor in it. You're lying. You've been lying this entire time. She turned to me, tears streaming down her face. Did you really show her my research? Did you? I never showed her anything. I swear to God, Lily. She showed up at my office asking about surgical procedures. I thought she was considering going back to school. I gave her a tour of the research wing because I stopped, realizing how stupid it sounded. Because I was trying to be nice to my ex who chose someone else over me. Real smart, Noah. Dr. Hargrove held up his hand. This isn't the place for this discussion. Noah, you're suspended pending investigation. Dr. Chen, you'll need to come in tomorrow morning. We'll need to review all of your research documentation and access logs. Hospital security will escort you both out. My sister Emma appeared at my elbow, her face furious. What the hell is happening? This is my wedding. Brittany turned her charm on Emma. I'm so sorry to disrupt your beautiful day. I tried to handle this privately, but they forced my hand. Emma looked at me, confusion written all over her face. Noah? One of the security guards, an older guy named Marcus I'd shared coffee with dozens of times, put his hand on my shoulder. Let's go, Dr. Hayes. Easy now. Lily was already walking toward the exit, her head high despite the tears. Logan called after her. Lily, wait. We need to talk about this. She didn't even slow down. I started to follow, but Dr. Hargrove stepped in front of me. Noah, I need you to understand how serious this is. If the allegations are true, you could lose your medical license. It could be criminal charges. They're not true. None of it. Check the emails. Check the IP addresses. I never sent anything to Meridian. He studied my face for a long moment. I hope you're right, for your sake. The walk out of that reception hall was the longest of my life. Every eye followed us. I could hear the whispers starting, spreading like wildfire through the crowd. My parents stood frozen near the bar, my dad's face red, my mother's hand over her mouth. Emma tried to follow us out, but her new husband held her back. The cool evening air hit me like a slap when we stepped outside. Lily was standing next to her car, fumbling with her keys. Her hands were shaking so badly she dropped them twice. Lily, please, let me explain. She whirled on me. Explain what, Noah? That you're still so hung up on your ex that you showed her my research? Research I've spent 3 years developing? Do you have any idea what this means? That presentation was supposed to launch my career. Now it's going to end it. I didn't show her anything. She must have taken pictures when I stepped out. I had to run to the ER for an emergency consult. I was gone maybe 20 minutes. She laughed bitterly. 20 minutes. That's all it took for you to destroy everything. You know what the worst part is? I actually believed you were over her. I thought you'd moved on, but you never did. You just found a convenient replacement who happened to be your ex's boyfriend's sister. The words hit like physical blows. That's not fair. You know that's not true, do I? Because from where I'm standing, it looks like you've been playing some long game revenge plot this entire time. Dating me to get back at them. Using my research too. She stopped, her face crumpling. Oh my God. That's why you were always so interested in my work. Why you ask so many questions. You were planning this from the beginning. Lily, no. I love you. I love your work because I love you. This has nothing to do with Brittany or Logan. She shook her head, tears streaming down her face. I can't do this. I can't be with someone I don't trust. And right now, I don't even know who you are. She got in her car and drove away, leaving me standing in the country club parking lot in my expensive suit, watching my entire life fall apart in real time. The security guard, Marcus, stood a respectful distance away. Dr. Hayes, I gotta head back inside. You all right to get home? I nodded, not trusting my voice. He hesitated, then said quietly, "For what it's worth, I don't believe it. You're a good guy. Been watching you help kids for over a year now. That woman in there," he gestured back toward the reception, "she's got mean eyes. I've seen plenty of liars in my time. She's one of them." The small validation meant more than it should have. I managed to get to my car before the shaking started. Not just my hands, my entire body. I sat there for probably 30 minutes, trying to process what had just happened. Brittany had weaponized my kindness. She'd planned this. The timing was too perfect. Showing up at my office 6 months ago wasn't about career advice. It was reconnaissance. She'd known exactly what she was doing, taking photos of Lily's research, then sitting on it until the perfect moment to detonate it. But why? What did she gain from destroying us? My phone started buzzing. Emma calling, then my mom, then Dr. Hargrove. I ignored them all. Instead, I pulled up my hospital email on my phone and started searching. There had to be something. Some evidence that would prove I hadn't sent anything to Meridian Pharmaceuticals. I found it 20 minutes later. 5 emails sent from my hospital account to an address at Meridian. All sent at times when I was either in surgery or logged into the system from the hospital floor, nowhere near my office computer. The timestamps were damning. They showed a pattern of systematic data theft over 3 months. But there was a problem with Brittany's story. I pulled up my surgery schedule and cross-referenced it with the email timestamps. Every single email had been sent while I was in an OR with witnesses. Dozens of witnesses. There was no way I could have sent them. Someone had accessed my account remotely or from my office computer while I was gone. I screenshotted everything, my hands steadier now. Then I called the one person I knew could help. My college roommate Derek worked in cybersecurity for a major hospital network. He answered on the 3rd ring. "Noah? Dude, it's almost midnight on a Saturday. This better be good. It's not good. It's a nightmare, and I need your help." I laid out everything. The accusations, the emails, the impossible timestamps. Derek was quiet for a moment after I finished. "Someone's framing you, like textbook framing. Those emails were probably sent using session hijacking, or they had your login credentials. Do you ever leave your computer unlocked? Only when I run to the ER for emergencies. And there's no timeout lock? Not on my office computer. It's a pain when you're trying to document patient charts quickly," Derek swore. "That's your vulnerability. Someone who knew your schedule could walk in, use your active session, send emails, and walk out. You'd never even know. Can you prove it? Maybe. I'd need access to your hospital's server logs. IT department should have records of IP addresses and device IDs for every login. If someone accessed your email from a device that wasn't yours, it'll show up. The hospital's not going to just hand that over to me right now. I'm suspended." "No, but they'll hand it over to a lawyer with a subpoena. You need to lawyer up, man. Like, yesterday. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Get a lawyer first thing Monday morning." I already felt the weight of legal fees adding to my crushing student loan debt. What about Lily's research? If Meridian files that patent, even if they file, it doesn't mean they'll get it. Patent office does their own research. If Lily published or presented first, she has prior art claims. But again, lawyer, this is above my pay grade. We talked for another 10 minutes, Derek walking me through what data to request and what questions to ask. When I finally hung up, it was almost 1 in the morning. The country club parking lot was nearly empty. The reception must have moved inside or ended. I drove home in a daze. Home was a small apartment near the hospital, sparsely furnished because I was never there. I fell asleep on my couch, still wearing my suit, my phone clutched in my hand in case Lily called. She didn't. Sunday morning, I woke up to 47 missed calls and 89 text messages. My sister was furious that I'd ruined her reception. My parents were confused and hurt, demanding answers I barely had. Logan had sent 3 messages. "We need to talk. This is insane. Brittany's lying. Call me." That last one surprised me. I ignored most of the messages and started making a list. I needed documentation. Evidence, a timeline of everything that had happened. I spent 6 hours at my kitchen table, reconstructing every interaction with Brittany since that day she'd shown up at the hospital. I remembered now how she'd been overly interested in everything, asking questions about what research meant, what the charts on my walls were tracking, whether the hospital had strict data security. At the time, I'd thought she was just making conversation. Now I realized she'd been gathering intelligence. There was a knock on my door around 3 in the afternoon. I checked the peephole and saw Logan standing there, looking worse than I'd ever seen him. No designer clothes, just a wrinkled t-shirt and jeans. His hair was a mess. I opened the door but didn't invite him in. "What do you want?" "We need to talk. About Brittany. I don't have anything to say to you. You chose her over me 2 years ago. Congratulations, you can both have each other." He ran his hand through his hair, frustrated. I know I was a shitty friend. But Noah, I think she's been playing both of us. That got my attention. I stepped back and let him in. He looked around my sparse apartment, probably comparing it to the fancy place he shared with Brittany that his parents paid for. Can I sit? I gestured to the couch. He sat down heavily, elbows on his knees, head in his hands. After you and Lily left last night, Brittany was celebrating. Literally celebrating. She told me it was handled, that your little revenge plot was finished, and now we could focus on our wedding. I asked her what revenge plot she was talking about. She said you'd been trying to sabotage our relationship since you found out Lily was my sister. I stayed quiet, letting him talk. I didn't believe her, not fully. So I went through her laptop this morning while she was asleep. Noah, there are files, dozens of files, photos of research documents, emails to Meridian, contracts. She's been planning this for months. My chest tightened. Planning what exactly? He pulled out his phone, swiped through some screenshots. She made a deal with my uncle's company. If she could deliver proprietary research from Children's Hospital, specifically pediatric trauma interventions, they'd give her a consulting position and a 6-figure salary. She's been targeting your hospital for almost a year. Why? Why would she do that? Logan looked up at me, his face miserable. Because she's broke. Her parents cut her off last year after she maxed out their credit cards. She's been living off me, but I'm barely making it myself. The marketing firm is my uncle's, yeah, but I'm just a junior associate. I make maybe 50 grand a year. Everything else, the lifestyle, the vacations, that was her using credit cards and loans. She's in debt up to her eyes. The pieces started clicking into place. So she needed money and saw an opportunity to steal research and sell it. But why frame me? Why not just steal it quietly? He shook his head. That's where it gets worse. She hates you. Like, really hates you. I never realized how much until I read her journal entries. She wrote pages about how you rejected her ambitions, how you were holding her back when you were together, how watching you become successful made her feel like a failure. When she found out you were dating Lily, it was like something broke in her brain. He showed me a photo of a journal entry, dated 3 months ago. Noah Hayes thinks he can just move on and be happy? After making me feel worthless for 4 years? After choosing a career over me? He doesn't get to win. He doesn't get to ride off into the sunset with some perfect woman while I'm stuck with Logan's mediocre life. I'm going to destroy him the same way he destroyed my future. I stared at the photo, feeling sick. I never destroyed her future. I supported every dream she had. I worked 2 jobs to help pay for her study abroad trip. I stayed up countless nights helping her with applications and interviews. He swiped to another screenshot. An email exchange between Brittany and someone at Meridian. The plan was clear. Steal the research. Frame me to remove any credibility I had, then claim that Lily had stolen the research from Meridian in the first place. Meridian would file the patent, Brittany would get her consulting fee and ongoing royalties, and both Lily and I would be professionally destroyed. It was elegant in its cruelty. Logan set his phone down. I'm going to the police. This is fraud, identity theft, corporate espionage, all of it. She's going to jail, and I'm done being her accomplice. You knew? I tried to keep the anger out of my voice. Not about this. I swear I didn't know about the research theft. But I knew she was obsessed with you. I knew she talked about you constantly, comparing me to you, wondering what you were doing. I should have seen the signs. He stood up, pacing my small living room. I was so stupid. She told me she loved me, that we were building a life together, but I was just convenient. Someone with family connections she could exploit. I almost felt bad for him. Almost. You need to give all of that to my lawyer. Every screenshot, every file you found. He nodded. I will. I'm also going to talk to my uncle, tell him what she did. If he files that patent knowing the research was stolen, he's liable too. The company could be destroyed. After Logan left, I sat in the silence of my apartment trying to process everything. Brittany hadn't just moved on after our breakup. She'd been harboring resentment that festered into hatred. And when she saw an opportunity to profit from destroying me, she took it. The worst part was Lily. She believed I'd betrayed her. She thought I'd used her as some pawn in a revenge scheme, and I had no way to reach her, to explain, to show her the truth. She'd blocked my number. I tried calling from my hospital phone and got sent straight to voicemail. I sent an email to her hospital account explaining everything Logan had told me, attaching the screenshots he'd forwarded. The email bounced back. She'd already blocked my hospital email too. Monday morning, I showed up at the office of Patricia Velasquez, a lawyer specializing in medical malpractice defense and employment law. Derek had recommended her. She was in her 50s, sharp-eyed, with an air of competence that immediately put me at ease. She listened to my entire story without interrupting, taking notes on a yellow legal pad. When I finished, She sat back in her chair. This is simultaneously one of the most clear-cut cases of fraud I've seen and one of the messiest. Clear-cut because the evidence is obvious once we look for it. Messy because you're dealing with corporate interests, stolen intellectual property, and reputational damage that's already spreading. What do I do first? First, we file a police report. Corporate espionage, identity theft, fraud. Then we request all server logs from your hospital showing every access to your email account. We'll need device IDs, IP addresses, physical location data if available. We're going to prove that someone else sent those emails. Second, we contact Meridian Pharmaceuticals directly with a cease and desist. We inform them that their informant committed multiple felonies to obtain that research and that filing the patent would make them accessories after the fact. Most companies will back off immediately when faced with that reality. Third, we go on the offensive. We file a civil suit against Miss Fletcher for damages, defamation, and intentional interference with your career. We'll also file suit against Meridian if they don't immediately withdraw their patent application. What about Lily? What about her research? That's trickier. Dr. Chen will need her own lawyer to fight for her intellectual property rights. But if we can prove the research was stolen from her through your access, and that you were an unwitting victim in the scheme, it strengthens her case significantly. Can you help her? Or recommend someone who can? Patricia nodded. I'll reach out to a colleague who specializes in IP law. But she has to want the help. Has she indicated she's willing to work with you on this? No, she thinks I'm part of the scheme. Then we need to change her mind. Fast. Before she makes any decisions that hurt her own case, like accepting a settlement from Meridian or signing away her rights, the police report took 3 hours. Detective Raymond Torres handled the case, a veteran investigator who'd seen his share of corporate crime. He was skeptical at first, treating it like a domestic dispute gone wrong, until I showed him Logan's screenshots and my surgery schedule proving I couldn't have sent the emails. That's when he sat up straighter and started asking real questions. By Tuesday afternoon, the police had seized Brittany's laptop and phone. They'd also contacted Meridian Pharmaceuticals, who suddenly became very cooperative when they realized they'd been fed stolen information. The company's lawyers called Patricia Wednesday morning. They were withdrawing the patent application and terminating their arrangement with Brittany. They also offered to provide testimony about her involvement in exchange for immunity from prosecution. The hospital called Thursday. Dr. Hargrove sounded exhausted. Noah, I owe you an apology. It pulled the server logs. Your email was accessed from 3 different devices that weren't registered to you. 2 were traced to IP addresses at a coffee shop 3 blocks from the hospital. 1 was traced to a laptop that we've now learned belonged to Brittany Fletcher. The emails to Meridian were definitely not sent by you. I felt vindication, but it was hollow. What about my suspension? It's lifted effective immediately. We're also issuing a formal apology and clearing your record. This was a gross violation of your privacy and professional reputation. We're implementing new security protocols because of this. And Lily? Dr. Chen? She's meeting with hospital administration this afternoon. We're helping her secure legal representation for the intellectual property case. She's also being reinstated and her research is being published under expedited review to establish prior art and prevent any future theft attempts. Can I talk to her? Has she said anything about me? There was a pause. Noah, she's requested no contact with you through the hospital. I can't force her to speak with you. That's between you two to resolve. But for what it's worth, I think once she sees all the evidence, she'll realize you were a victim in this too. I went back to work the following Monday. My colleagues were cautiously supportive, but I could feel the whispers. The damage to my reputation wasn't something that would disappear overnight. Trust was fractured, even among people who'd known me for years. Lily transferred to a different hospital. I heard it through the grapevine. She'd accepted a position at General across town. A lateral move, but one that got her away from the place where her research had been compromised. I saw her once, purely by accident. I was grabbing coffee at the hospital cafeteria when she walked in with some colleagues from her new job. They were touring the pediatric wing, probably some cross-hospital collaboration thing. Our eyes met across the cafeteria. For a second, I thought she might come over, but she just gave me a small nod and turned away, following her group toward the elevator. It hurt worse than anything Brittany had done. Brittany's trial was scheduled for January. She was facing multiple felony charges, including identity theft, corporate espionage, wire fraud, and conspiracy. Her parents had hired a lawyer who immediately started trying to negotiate a plea deal. Logan testified against her in the preliminary hearings. Watching him on the stand, describing how she'd manipulated him and his family, how she'd used their relationship to access corporate contacts, was surreal. He looked broken. The friend I'd once known, the guy who'd chosen her over our friendship, had been as much a victim as anyone. After his testimony, He waited for me outside the courthouse. "I know I don't deserve your forgiveness," he said. "I was a terrible friend. I chose a woman over a brother, and I helped her, even unknowingly, destroy something good you had. I don't expect us to be friends again. I just wanted you to know I'm sorry." I looked at him for a long moment. "We're not friends, Logan. I don't know if we ever can be again, but I appreciate you doing the right thing now, even if it came too late." He nodded, accepting that, and walked away. I haven't spoken to him since. December came with its usual holiday chaos at the hospital. Pediatric emergencies spiked during the holidays, a combination of winter illnesses and accidents. I threw myself into work, pulling extra shifts, volunteering for the cases nobody else wanted. It was easier than going home to my empty apartment and thinking about everything I'd lost. My sister Emma called me on Christmas Eve. "I'm sorry I didn't believe you at first," she said. "When everything happened at my reception, I just saw the chaos and blamed you. I should have known better." "It's fine, Emma. You had a right to be upset." "No, it's not fine. You're my brother. I should have had your back immediately." "Are you coming tomorrow? For Christmas dinner?" I hesitated. I didn't want to face the family gathering, the inevitable questions and sympathetic looks. Emma must have sensed my reluctance. "Please come. Mom's making your favorite pie. And I want my big brother there." I went. It was awkward at first. My parents kept asking if I was okay, if I was eating enough, if I needed anything. But eventually, the normal family rhythm took over. My nephew showed me his new video game. My dad and I watched football. Emma's husband made terrible jokes. For a few hours, I almost felt normal. That night, lying in my childhood bedroom, I checked my email one last time before sleep. There was a message from an address I didn't recognize. The subject line was simple: "I'm sorry." I opened it. "Noah, I've spent the past 2 months angry at you, convinced you'd used me, betrayed me, destroyed my career for some petty revenge. I've read the police reports now. I've seen the evidence. I talked to Logan. I know the truth, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry I didn't trust you. I'm sorry I didn't give you a chance to explain. I'm sorry I wasn't there when you needed someone to believe in you. What Brittany did to both of us was calculated and cruel. But what I did, walking away when you needed me most, that was my choice, and it was wrong. I don't know if you can forgive me. I don't know if there's anything left to salvage between us, but I wanted you to know that I understand now. You were a victim, just like me, and you didn't deserve what happened. If you ever want to talk, really talk, I'm here. No pressure, no expectations, just, I'm here. Lily." I read the email 3 times, my heart pounding. Then I replied, "Coffee? Tomorrow at that place near General where you used to get those ridiculous caramel lattes?" Her response came 30 seconds later. "I'll be there at 10. The coffee shop was crowded with post-Christmas shoppers and people escaping their families. Lily was already there when I arrived, sitting at a corner table with 2 cups in front of her. She'd gotten my order. Black coffee, no sugar. I sat down across from her. She looked tired. Beautiful, but tired. There were dark circles under her eyes, and her hair was pulled back in a simple ponytail instead of the careful style she usually wore. "I don't know where to start," she said. "So I'm just going to say everything and you can interrupt whenever you want." She took a breath. "I was wrong. Not just wrong, I was cruel. You tried to explain at the reception and I shut you down. I assumed the worst because I was scared. Scared that you'd never really gotten over Brittany. Scared that I was just some consolation prize. Scared that I wasn't enough." I opened my mouth, but she held up her hand. "Let me finish. When we started dating, I knew about your history with Brittany. I knew she'd hurt you, and somewhere in the back of my mind, I always wondered if you were really over her, or if you were just going through the motions with me. So when she made those accusations, it confirmed my worst fears. It was easier to believe you'd betrayed me than to believe someone could be that calculated and cruel. But Brittany is that cruel. I've seen the evidence. I've read her journal entries that the police released. She hated you, Noah. Really hated you. And she hated me for having what she thought she deserved. She saw 2 people building something good and decided to destroy it because she couldn't stand watching you be happy." Lily's voice cracked. "And I let her win. I did exactly what she wanted. I walked away from you when you needed me most. I believed her lies over your truth. I'm so sorry." I reached across the table and took her hand. She didn't pull away. "I'm not going to pretend it didn't hurt. It did. Watching you drive away that night, knowing you thought I'd betrayed you, that was almost worse than everything Brittany did. But I understand why you reacted that way. She was convincing. She had fake evidence. She knew exactly what buttons to push. We can't give her that power anymore." Lily squeezed my hand, tears streaming down her face. "Can we start over? Not forget everything, but maybe try again? Without all the baggage and lies and manipulation?" "I want to," I said honestly, "but I need to know you trust me. Really trust me. Not just when everything's perfect, but when things get hard and confusing. Trust that I'm on your side, even when it looks bad. She nodded. I do. I will. I promise I'll be better at communicating instead of assuming. And I'll never block you again, even if we're fighting. Especially if we're fighting. I smiled for the first time in weeks. That's a start. We sat in that coffee shop for 3 hours, talking through everything. She told me about the hell of the past 2 months, the professional scrutiny, the whispers from colleagues, the fear that her career was over before it really began. I told her about the investigation, the legal process, the crushing loneliness of knowing she was out there hating me. When we finally left, the winter sun was setting. Lily stopped on the sidewalk outside, looking up at me. I'm not saying everything's magically fixed. We have work to do. But I want to do that work. With you. I kissed her. Right there on the busy street with holiday shoppers streaming past. And for the first time since my sister's wedding reception, I felt like maybe things would be okay. Brittany's trial happened in late January. I sat in the courtroom gallery with Lily beside me, our hands clasped together. Watching Brittany in her conservative suit, playing the role of remorseful defendant, was surreal. Her lawyer painted her as a desperate woman who'd made bad choices under financial pressure. The prosecutor, a stern woman named Michaels, systematically destroyed that narrative. She presented the journal entries showing premeditation and malice. She showed the contracts Brittany had signed with Meridian, proving profit motive. She brought in IT experts who explained exactly how Brittany had accessed my email and sent the fraudulent messages. Logan testified again, describing how Brittany had manipulated him and his family. Lily testified about the theft of her research and the professional damage she'd suffered. I testified about the day Brittany showed up at my office, how I'd never suspected anything was wrong, how I'd trusted her as a former friend. The jury deliberated for 6 hours. They found her guilty on all counts. The sentencing wouldn't happen for another 6 weeks, but the prosecution was pushing for 4 to 7 years in prison. When the verdict was read, Brittany's face crumbled. Her mother was sobbing in the gallery. Her father sat stone-faced, staring at the wall. I felt nothing. No satisfaction. No vindication. Just empty. Outside the courthouse, reporters were waiting. They'd been following the case because of the medical research angle and the corporate espionage. I gave a brief statement prepared by Patricia. I'm grateful for justice. I'm grateful for the legal system that uncovered the truth, and I'm hopeful that this sends a message that theft of intellectual property, especially in the medical field, will not be tolerated. Lily gave her own statement about the importance of protecting research that could save children's lives. We left quickly after that, ignoring the shouted questions. Life slowly returned to normal, or a new version of normal. Lily and I dated carefully this time, with intention. We went to counseling together, working through trust issues and communication. We set boundaries around work and personal life. We were building something real on a foundation that had been tested and survived. My relationship with Logan remained non-existent. He'd moved back in with his parents after Brittany's arrest, apparently taking time to figure out what he wanted to do with his life. I heard through Emma that he was in therapy and had quit the marketing firm. I didn't reach out. Maybe someday we'd be able to have a conversation, but not yet. The wounds were too fresh. My career flourished. The hospital published a case study about the security breach and the new protocols they'd implemented. I was interviewed for several medical journals about protecting research data. Ironically, Brittany's actions had made me more visible in the field. In March, Lily's research was finally published in the Journal of Pediatric Emergency Medicine. It received immediate acclaim. Hospitals around the country started implementing her protocols. She was invited to speak at conferences and consult on pediatric trauma programs. The work she'd been afraid was stolen and destroyed was instead changing lives. In April, we took a vacation together. Just a long weekend at a bed and breakfast in Vermont, away from hospitals and courtrooms and memories. We hiked through spring trails, ate at local restaurants, and talked about the future in ways we hadn't dared before. On our last night, sitting on the porch watching fireflies, Lily said, "I'm glad it was you." "What?" "I'm glad I met you. I'm glad we went through this hell together. Because now I know exactly who you are when things fall apart. You don't run. You don't lie. You stand your ground and fight for what's right. That's the kind of man I want beside me." I pulled her close. "I'm glad it was you too. Even with all the pain and chaos. I wouldn't trade what we have now for anything." We went back to the city different than when we'd left. More solid. More certain. In May, Brittany was sentenced to 5 years in prison with the possibility of parole after 3. She'd also been ordered to pay restitution to both Lily and me for damages, though her lawyer had already indicated she had no assets and would likely never be able to pay. The sentencing hearing was the last time I saw her. She looked smaller somehow, diminished in her orange jumpsuit. When given the chance to speak before sentencing, she'd apologized in a flat, rehearsed voice that fooled no one. "I'm sorry for my actions and the harm I caused. I was in a dark place and made terrible decisions. I hope someday they can forgive me." The judge wasn't impressed. "Miss Fletcher, you engaged in a calculated campaign to destroy two people's lives and careers for personal profit. You showed no remorse until you were caught, and even now your apology rings hollow. The severity of your sentence reflects the severity of your crimes." After the hearing, as we walked to our cars, Lily said, "Do you forgive her?" I thought about it. "Not yet, maybe someday, but right now, I'm just glad it's over." She nodded. "Same. In June, my sister Emma had a baby, a little girl they named Sophie. Holding my niece in the hospital, watching Emma and her husband glow with new parent joy, I felt a shift inside me. The anger and hurt that had been my constant companions for months started to fade. Not disappear, but soften into something manageable. Logan showed up at the hospital that night, hovering in the doorway of Emma's room. Emma had invited him, apparently feeling that enough time had passed. We made awkward eye contact. He held up a small gift bag. "I brought something for the baby. Is it okay if I come in?" I looked at Emma, who nodded encouragingly. I left the room, giving them space. But as I walked down the hospital corridor toward the cafeteria, Logan caught up with me. "Noah, wait." I stopped but didn't turn around. "I know we're not friends. I know I don't deserve to be part of your life after what I did. But I wanted you to know that watching you handle everything this past year, how you stood up to Brittany, how you fought for your career and for Lily, it made me realize how weak I've been my entire life." He came around to face me. "You always had integrity. Even in college, when everyone else was cheating or cutting corners, you did things the right way. I used to think that made you naive. Now I realize it made you strong. I'm trying to be better. I'm in therapy. I'm working a real job, not just living off my family. I'm learning to stand on my own. I don't know if we'll ever be friends again, but I wanted you to know that you showed me what a real man looks like. And it's not about money or status or any of that shit Brittany cared about. It's about character." I studied his face. He looked different, older, more serious. The boyish arrogance that had always surrounded him was gone. "I appreciate you saying that, and I'm glad you're working on yourself. But you're right, we're not friends. Maybe someday we can be civil at family events. That's enough for now." He nodded, accepting that. "That's fair. More than fair." He went back into Emma's room, and I continued to the cafeteria. July came with heat waves and long shifts at the hospital. Lily and I fell into a comfortable rhythm. Dinners together, when our schedules aligned. Lazy Sunday mornings, talking about moving in together. One night in early August, I was working late when Dr. Hargrove stopped by my office. "Noah, got a minute?" I looked up from the chart I was reviewing. "Sure, what's up?" He sat down across from my desk. "I wanted to talk to you about something. We're creating a new position at the hospital, Director of Pediatric Trauma Research. It's a leadership role that would involve coordinating research across departments, securing grants, and mentoring residents." I thought about the weight of what he was offering. That's a big job. It is, but I think you're ready for it. You've proven you can handle pressure and maintain your integrity even when things get ugly. Plus, your work on post-surgical pediatric care has been exceptional. The hospital board specifically asked if you'd be interested. What about Lily? Would this create any conflict since she's also doing research? Actually, that's part of why we thought you'd be perfect. You understand the importance of protecting research and intellectual property better than anyone. And since Dr. Chen is at General now, there's no direct conflict of interest. In fact, we're hoping to create a collaborative research program between our hospitals, and you'd be the natural point person. I felt excitement building. The first real professional excitement I'd felt since before Brittany's betrayal. I'm definitely interested. Excellent. We can discuss details next week. But Noah, I wanted to tell you personally because you've earned this. What happened earlier this year could have destroyed you, but instead you handled it with grace and determination. That's the kind of person we want leading our research programs. After he left, I sat in my office for a while, processing. A year ago, I'd been suspended, my career in jeopardy, my relationship destroyed. Now I was being offered a directorship and building a life with the woman I loved. Brittany had tried to destroy me, but somehow I'd come through stronger. I called Lily on my way home. "Hey, you busy? Just finishing up some charting. What's up?" I was offered a promotion today. Director of Pediatric Trauma Research. I could hear her smile through the phone. "Noah, that's amazing! Are you going to take it?" "I think so. It means more administrative work, less time in the OR, but I'd be able to mentor residents and coordinate research across departments. It feels like the right next step. Plus, Apparently part of the job would be setting up collaborative programs with other hospitals, including General, so we might end up working together. There was a pause. That doesn't scare you? After everything that happened? It doesn't scare me. Does it scare you? Another pause, then she laughed. No, actually, it sounds perfect. I think we've proven we can handle working in the same field without drama. Come over tonight. We should celebrate. I'm ordering Thai food and we can plan out our professional collaboration like the nerds we are. I love you, I said. It still felt new, saying it without fear or hesitation. I love you too. And Noah, I'm really proud of you. September brought cooler weather and new beginnings. I officially started my new role, diving into research proposals and grant applications. Lily and I found an apartment together, a 2-bedroom place halfway between both hospitals with actual counter space in the kitchen and windows that let in morning light. Moving in together was surprisingly easy. We'd learned how to communicate during the hard times, so navigating the small stuff like whose couch to keep and how to organize the bathroom was simple. In October, I got a letter from the prison. Brittany wanted to speak with me. She'd put me on her visitor list and was requesting a visit. I showed the letter to Lily that night over dinner. She read it, then looked up at me. Do you want to go? I don't know. Part of me wants to hear what she has to say. Part of me never wants to see her again. Lily set the letter down. I can't tell you what to do, but I will say that closure is different for everyone. If you think talking to her will help you move forward, do it. If it won't, then don't. You don't owe her anything. I thought about it for a week. Finally, I decided to go. Not for her, but for me. I needed to look her in the eye and see if there was any remorse, any recognition of the damage she'd caused. The prison was 2 hours away, a medium security facility surrounded by fences and guard towers. The visiting process was dehumanizing. Sign in, metal detector, pat down, being led through multiple locked doors into a sterile room with tables bolted to the floor. Brittany was already sitting at one of the tables when I was brought in. She looked different, thinner. Her hair was pulled back in a plain ponytail, no makeup, wearing standard prison khakis. The glamorous woman who'd posted endless Instagram photos was gone. Noah. Her voice was quiet. Thanks for coming. I sat down across from her, keeping my expression neutral. What did you want to say? She folded her hands on the table. I've had a lot of time to think in here, about what I did, about who I was, and I realized I need to apologize to you. A real apology, not the bullshit I said at sentencing. I waited. I was jealous of you. Not at first, when we were dating. Back then, I actually loved you. But after we broke up, when I saw you succeeding without me, it ate at me. I told myself I'd left you because you weren't ambitious enough, but really you were plenty ambitious. I just wanted the easy path, Logan and his money and his family connections. But even with all that, I wasn't happy. And you were. That's what I couldn't stand. She looked down at her hands. So when I found out you were dating Lily, it was like this perfect storm. I could hurt you, take her research for money, and prove to myself that I was smarter than both of you. I convinced myself you deserved it, that I was just taking what I was owed after wasting 4 years with someone who wouldn't give me the life I wanted. Her eyes met mine. But I was wrong. About all of it. You didn't hold me back. I held myself back by always looking for shortcuts and scapegoats. And what I did to you and Lily was unforgivable. I destroyed people's lives for money and revenge. I'm not asking for your forgiveness. I don't deserve it. I just needed you to know that I understand what I did now, and I'm sorry. I studied her face, looking for signs of manipulation, but all I saw was exhaustion and what seemed like genuine remorse. I appreciate you saying that, but you're right. I can't forgive you. Not yet. Maybe not ever. What you did didn't just hurt me. It hurt Lily. It hurt Logan. It hurt everyone who trusted you. You weren't just jealous. You were cruel. She nodded, wiping tears from her eyes. I know, and I have 5 years in here to live with that. My parents won't talk to me. My friends are gone. Logan hasn't visited once. I'm completely alone with what I've done. I stood up. That's what you chose when you decided to destroy people for profit. Actions have consequences, Brittany. You taught me that. I turned to leave, then paused. For what it's worth, I hope you use this time to actually become a better person. Not for me, but for whoever you meet when you get out. Don't make them pay for your mistakes, too. I left without looking back. The drive home felt lighter somehow. I'd faced her, heard her apology, and walked away knowing I didn't need her remorse to move forward. The healing had already happened. When I got home, Lily was curled up on our couch working on a research paper. She looked up when I came in. How did it go? I sat down next to her, pulling her close. It was good. She apologized, I listened, and now it's done. I don't need to see her again. Lily kissed my temple. I'm glad. Now, want to help me figure out this data analysis? I've been staring at these numbers for 3 hours and they're starting to look like abstract art. I laughed, settling in next to her with her laptop balanced between us. That's because you're a medical professional, not a statistician. Here, let me show you. We spent the rest of the evening working together, occasionally arguing about methodology, laughing at stupid jokes, being exactly who we were meant to be. The story of Brittany's betrayal would always be part of my past, but it didn't define my future. That belonged to me and Lily and the life we were building together, one day at a time. In November, I was invited to present at the same pediatric trauma conference where Lily and I had met 2 years earlier. Standing in front of hundreds of medical professionals, discussing our hospital's new research protocols and collaborative programs, I felt full circle. Lily was in the audience, smiling up at me with pride. After my presentation, we grabbed dinner at the same restaurant where we'd talked for hours that first night. "Remember when I had no idea you were Logan's sister?" I said over appetizers. She grinned. "Remember when I thought you were just another boring surgeon who probably had a boat and talked about golf?" I laughed. "I don't have a boat. I don't even like golf." "Exactly. You were much more interesting than expected." She reached across the table and took my hand. "I'm glad we found each other, Noah. Even with all the chaos and pain, I'm glad it was us." "Me too. Me too." December came again, marking a full year since Lily had sent that email apologizing and asking to try again. We celebrated quietly, just the two of us at home, cooking dinner together and reminiscing about how far we'd come. On Christmas Eve, I drove to Emma's house for the family gathering. Lily came with me this time, officially part of the family. Logan was there too, still slightly awkward around me but making an effort. He'd gotten a job at a nonprofit, working in community outreach, and seemed genuinely happy for the first time in years. As I watched my family together, laughing and bickering and celebrating, I realized something important. Brittany hadn't broken me. She'd tried, but I'd survived. More than survived, I'd grown. I'd learned who my real friends were. I'd learned what mattered. And I'd found someone who stood beside me through the worst and chose to stay for the better. On New Year's Eve, Lily and I stood on our apartment balcony watching fireworks light up the city sky. "Any resolutions?" she asked. I pulled her close. "Just one. Keep building this life with you, every day, no matter what." She smiled. "That's a good resolution. What about you?" "Keep saving kids' lives, keep doing research that matters, and keep loving the man brave enough to walk through hell and come out the other side." We kissed as the clock struck midnight, the start of a new year full of possibility. Brittany's attempt to destroy us had failed.